So I'll give an overview of how data analysis works. And we will go through Python advanced features also. Okay, let's start with Python. Okay, so let's start with data analysis. See, basically when we get data, so it's not going to be in normal forms. Usually it's going to be in heap form. Heap form in sense it's not, there won't be any proper structure. So let me show you an example. So it's going to give us some heap data, unnormalized form. Basically, so it's everything being clubbed into one sort of data or one or two. So we will usually have two sorts of databases. One OLTP, another one OLAP. OLTP stands for online transaction processing, whereas OLAP is for online analytical processing. Visualization all fall under OLAP, not OLTP. OLTP is for transaction purpose. For example, credits, debits, like any banking transactions, all happen because against an OLTP database, not an OLAP databases. So OLAP is for reporting or visualization, whereas for OLTP is for regular transactions. So they actually in transaction there's something called ACID, atomistic consistence isolation durability. This is exactly what we follow here. So when we get data in the heap form, so it is not going to be in normal form. So we need to this is I can say, yeah, you can see that the data we usually, so we can see student ID, courses and course credits, right? There are in fact two categories of data. Student related and course related. We can separate this data set into different data sets, right? We can see that we have separated into two students and course related. Of course, we can give any name we want. If there is a possibility, we can we can subdivide into even more subtables. The whole idea is to reduce the redundancy. You can see there are a lot of data here. It's been repeated. Whereas in this case, if it's been normalized, the data is very, it's not redundant. So when we insert, update, delete, and there are four kind of operations, right? In OLTP, that is select, that is reading the data, insert, we insert some data, update, updating the existing data, and delete the row. Of course, dropping the table, that's totally different thing. But this all comes, so this need to be balanced. So when we read data, the problem is even if there is redundancy, that's fine. But when we, even in some case, we need to have proper index, especially when we need some certain set of data, some specific data. Whereas insert, update, delete, when we have redundant data like this, then it has to do a lot of inserts, updates, or deletes. That will take a lot of time. That is the reason OLTP has to apply these normalizations. Only then we can get rid of redundancy. Whereas OLAP is totally different. It is for reading purpose. They allocate a lot of resource. I mean, it is a high amount of RAM. Processing power is not much required in this case. OLAP, just reading RAM is what is all we need. As long as it's in RAM, that we can easily read the data. Of course, when we usually we assume that there will be a lot of reads on the same set of data, right? And of course, when it comes to first read, it has to rely on the processing power and it has to dump it in RAM. Whereas in OLTP, it is it requires a lot of processing power. So when we have redundancy, this will not work. This will slow down things. That's the reason we need to normalize so that the insert, update, delete, select will be balanced well. Okay. When it comes to visualization, it's all OLAP. And what is more important in this OLAP is multi-dimensional thing, which is not a multi-dimensional visualization. Since pivot is a good example for multi-dimensional visualization. You can see that not this one. Maybe I'll show you an example here. So when you click on it, you get it will get expanded, and you can see the apples. So when you click on it, it's going to get expanded and it's going to give us information. So this sort of data is not possible with OLTP. But like earlier, like some almost 7 or at least 10 years ago, we don't have tools like Power BI or Tableau, wherein we can build multidimensional on fly, even against OLTP. We need to convert this OLTP to OLAP, that is multidimensional. There is something called MDX, multidimensional expressions. We need to learn this language to build cubes. There's something called cubes. We build cubes, that is nothing but multidimensional data. That one second. Multidimensional data, so that any software that we use to read, it is going to be, you can easily read it. The reporting software by itself will not have that mechanism to build multidimensional data directly from OLTP. We need to convert this to OLTP to OLAP, and then the reporting. Then we need to build. In order to say that it is OLAP, we need to have cubes. Okay, SSAS is one popular software, SQL Server Analysis Service. So when we install SQL Server, it comes with normal SQL Server, and then apart from it, SIS, SAS, and SRS. SRS is for reporting, SAS is for analysis, and SIS is for integration. We call it as data engineering and all, right? We used to use that one. Now everything been taken over by Python. So Python has more flexibility, and so free and open source. So now the idea is like we can even take an OLTP database and directly build cubes. Of course, we can build normal stuff also, normal visualizations too. Apart from it, we can even build cubes, or otherwise called as multi-dimensional data. Or in Excel, we call it as pivot, and some other player like tool, it's called as some other matrix or whatever. Okay. Another concept that you have to learn is dimensions and measures. We already discussed in statistics. There is something called qualitative and quantitative, right? In quantitative, we have discrete and continuous. Whereas in qualitative, we have nominal and ordinal. So when we say nominal, ordinal, or discrete, will all fall under this columns. The actual numbers, you can see the measures because we call it as, right? These you can see like reseller. Reseller is a dimension. In fact, nominal, ordinal, and let me show you this. Ordinal and discrete will fall under dimension, whereas measures will have like something that we can apply, mean, median, not more, a summation kind of operations. In this case, it is continuous. In some cases, wherein we can take discrete or even nominal ordinal and get count, then it will become a measure too. So, right, count of unique values. In that case, nominal, ordinal, and discrete is going to be, will even come under measures. Okay. Usually, it is going to be the continuous. And the remaining nominal, ordinal, and discrete columns will fall under dimension. Usually continuous will come under measures, whereas discrete, nominal, and ordinal will fall under dimensions. Dimensions is what do you want to look at? For what you are looking, you want to look at, what exactly you're looking at. So dimension is going to be like what you want to look at. Measures is like what do you want to look at. So you can, in layman terms, this is the kind of description I can give. So in this case, reseller, and we have products, but what are we trying to achieve here? Sales. The sales is going to be measure, whereas reseller and product are dimensions. So we are trying to know about reseller product details, but what exactly we are looking at? The sales. So reseller product sales we are looking at, right? Do we have another example? I don't have a better example here. We'll see a few examples now in Pivot, Excel, and another thing is data cleaning. Data cleaning is going to be quite difficult either in Power BI, Tableau or even Excel. But it's better to combine Python to Excel, Tableau, or Power BI. That is the best combo you can go for. For example, let's take um, Excel itself. Let me read the data. So usually we go to Excel, open it, and here we have something called data, wherein we have various formats here, right? Get data from file or maybe other sources, isn't it? So right now I want to read it CSV file. That is in my machine. Okay. There is something called transform. Transform is for cleaning. Let me open this. Transform is for cleaning. So we have this tool in both Excel and Power BI. This is for cleaning. So even though there are good number of options here, like deleting, you can see there are like unpivot, reverse rows, and even remove rows like duplicate rows, remove duplicates. We have various options, but still it is not as flexible as Python. I have prepared a script so that you will understand it better. Suppose if I close this, let me read this back again. Load it. So if you want to load it directly, you can load it here. But if you want to transform, like you can clean it up, you can add any columns, you can close and apply. There is a possibility, you can see that there are a few blanks here, right? Suppose if you want to remove a blank, uh, then you have something called conditional formatting. Not even conditional formatting. You have to find and select, go to special blanks, click on that. Those blanks will be highlighted in all the columns. Let me select those columns that I want to handle with. I don't know. Let me delete few columns. Let me select these columns. Fine, select, go to special blanks. Here this been highlighted. Now I can enter the formula. Let's take fill. Okay, so let's take average. All right. Maybe I can see what is the value starts from G22. I think G501. Are you getting error? There are more reference where formula refers to its own cell either directly or indirectly. So it might be caused calculating correctly. All right, so it is being filled with zero. So let me, I think it's expecting one column it has now. Let's try that. G2 to G501. All right, so we need to, again, so it's a simple operation, but still, or else we will do, okay, so if error, then we'll fill with 0. Earlier, I don't know, let me delete few rows and see. Or else we can, okay, we'll stick to this one. File select, go to special, blank rows, this row is going to be highlighted, and then average, let's take J2, G501, and then Control Tab Enter. It's not working. It ought call fill with zeros. Let me try with another column. Let's take this one. Wherein I want to fill with, let's take up arrow. So I want to fill with that particular value. Control Tab Enter. It got fill all the blank values, right? You can see that I think there is another place where it has filled with it. So we can fill it, but it is very tedious. So rather than that, you can prefer Python notebook. Python, for example, let's take like this. This is for typical cleaning purpose. So you can see that we can remove duplicates, we can fill missing values without any difficulty, and convert data types if at all you have any. You can follow even the ML template. There are few additions here: normalize text data, create features. Additional features is going to create. Is going to do feature engineering. The feature engineering in the sense I mean to say we add statistical information usually, but I haven't added here. Apart from the regular columns for machine learning, but this is not for machine learning, right? This is for data analysis. So we have taken the year part, month part, and all, like if at all, everything being clubbed together. And apart from it, we can save it and load it back again. So we can provide any kind of data. Let's take, I don't know, sorry, I think, let me check here. Run all the things. It's already been done. Yeah, it's already been clear. You can see a few large values. It's because of the cleaning thing. Of course, we can format it, but that's not the point. So for cleaning or feature engineering, use Python. For visualization, use Excel, Power BI, or Tableau. And the best one, obviously, is Tableau. We will see in a short while. And visualization, as I told you, that there'll be, we can use Tableau, the best choice, but we have Power BI and Excel also. There are two kinds of plots or visualizations. One is a normal one, another one is multi-dimensional one. So once you prepare the charts or plots, you build something called dashboards, and thereafter is going to be stories. Stories is available only in Tableau, not in Power BI. And one more thing, so we can build you can build the whole life cycle in the Tableau, except that deployment. I have mentioned deployment collaboration jobs can be done with again specialized tools like Tableau. We have Tableau server or online, Tableau online. There's something called Power BI online, wherein you can deploy. But when it comes to dashboards, we don't have a dashboard option in Power BI desktop. That's free version that the link I have already provided. Am I recording? I think we're recording, right? Okay, so dashboard option is not being available in Power BI desktop. Even though we can add multiple visualizations, but doesn't mean that it is dashboard. Dashboard is available only in Power BI Online, only cloud version. Whereas in Tableau, we can build the whole cycle, but when it comes to deployment, collaboration in the sense, we can share dashboards to others, other members, and jobs in the sense, we can schedule jobs in a way. Suppose a new data comes in for every 24 hours or every 8 hours, then you need to run the job to reload that data. That is why we need these jobs. Again, there are limitations in Tableau. We'll see that in short while. And this is how it works. But right now we are going to see the Tableau desktop and Power BI desktop. Again, the Tableau, there are many tools, not just one. There are AI-based one. There are many other tools, like for for data engineering, there is another specific tool. For integration, I mean to say. But when it comes to libraries, we have a Tableau server client for Tableau and PBIPY for this thing. So for Power BI, this is for Power BI. Basically, use these libraries. Let me show you that. You can use these libraries for, you can see this one. Suppose if you want to, you have access to some Tableau server or Tableau online, then if you can programmatically write the code and run the job. Suppose let's take that you have scheduled every 24 hours, but you may not know exactly when the data comes in, right? The typical process that we, yeah. So Naveen, what have you posted? What a message.
No, sir, I didn't post anything.
All right. Okay, so for jobs scheduling and all, like what happens is there is an issue with Tableau, even Tableau. Look at this one. Usually we have two kinds of options. Let me load this one text file. Clean data. We have two options, live and extract. Extract is for batch. So it will not reload the data. So live is like whenever a change comes in, so this will reload the data, reload the visualizations based on the data that got changed. But the problem is that live, it will take around 10 to 15 minutes. It has to have connection. At least it will take 10 to 15 minutes to reload. So it may take even more. So live is not really live. So what we do is we Tableau server client, we use Tableau server client, create a job in server, the reload job, and then we trigger it when data changes. How do we know that data got changed? We apply something called MD5. We apply hash on the whole data set, or SHA 256 or SHA 512 on the data set. Even if there is slight a particular character or even space being removed, then this hash, whatever that generates, is going to get get changed. So if it is same, then it's going to be the same hash. So we'll cross check with the previous hash where it has been changed or not. So we continuously schedule a job in a way that it continuously check it, and then find out whether there is any change or not. So if there is a change, then this Tableau server client, we prepare the script in a way that it's going to trigger the job so that it's going to reload the data. So that is how we use Tableau server client. Same case for Power BI too. Right? We don't, and we can create job. We can create. I don't know whether we can create a job or not. I don't remember it. I think there should be an option to create jobs in even Power BI Online, not in desktop. And we can, but we can do that using this library, whatever I have mentioned, PBIPY. So the documentation of that is here. Even though it is not as robust as Tableau server client, but we do have. Maybe we need to look for an official document. Yeah. Yeah, here we have. This is the official one. So we can, we don't have jobs here. Okay. But we need to we need to write a code for it for Power BI. Right. Another one, as I told you, that nominal, ordinal, discrete, that is what is all about visualizations. If you understand this dimensions and measures, then you can easily understand the remaining concepts. Um, let me start with Excel. I think we have reloaded it. I don't know whether it is. So, okay, I'm going to load it directly. And suppose let's take that you want to find out city and profit that he got. So basically we are trying to get profit grouping based on city, right? So we can simply go to insert and can insert any graph you want. So for example, let's take recommended charts. So let's call it, these are the recommended charts. I prefer to go with this one. It has inserted in a new sheet. Of course, you can always cut, copy, or cut in another one. So let's say that I want to place it right on this, or I can place it anywhere I want, but the connection will be retained. If there is change, then it's going to get immediately get reflected here. Okay. And we can add as many relations as you want. Suppose if you want to build a dashboard in Excel, so usually what we do is we create a new one, a new sheet. There's no deployment as such here. So we create dashboards and then we keep copying these visualizations, whatever you have. Let's say this one has come here. And let me take another one, customer name and the discount he got, right? Discount he got and insert recommended charts. You can even go with these options. Um, all right, so click on this, place it. What happened? I think I have not. Sorry, I lost that. It looks like I've deleted it. All right. So we can stack it like one next to another. We can even add some title over there. Usually we can club all these lines into one. Format painter or something we have. Merge, yeah, merge. Yeah, you can see that it all got merged when I click on that merge option. So we can write titles here. So let's take uh, my dash or maybe caps. You can select it and you can format to whatever you want. Here you can see the font. Let's take 26, make it as bold, or you can even try other options, right? So this is the typical, maybe I lost that one. So let me reduce, maybe this is better. Maybe I can make it center. Yeah, this is much better. So we can keep adding these relations. That's how we can prepare dashboards. But one important feature, okay, here is the pivot. So multi-dimensional, I spoke about, right? This cubes or whatever. So that is something that we can build it using a pivot. For example, let's take I'm going to take the whole data. It is better to take the whole data when it comes to pivot so that we can modify it later. You can say pivot chart or pivot chart and table, right? It's your choice. I'm going to go with pivot chart and pivot table. Select table and range and new worksheet. You can even place it right here, but it's always preferred to go with new worksheet. Um, and okay, you can see we got a new one. So of course it's blank. This is going to pivot table and this is going to be pivot chart. Let me start building it. For example, customer, the access, all dimensions will come under here, categories, okay? And the measures will come here. So understanding of dimensions measures, that's the reason it is very important. We should not place right here. Suppose if you place here, then you need to, as you can see, it doesn't make much sense. I think it by default comes with a count or whatever. So it is not right to, you can see that by default it has come up with count, right? Count of customer name. Let me close this one. Yeah. There's no way to expand. Okay. There is no other options. We can't apply it any other measure. So always make it fall under categories and sales or profit, shipping cost, right? These sort of things should go under measures. Of course, you can add more than one category if because it's a pivot table, right? Let me add city also apart a city may be the right choice. You can see that we got this one. So when you shrink it, you got the aggregated data, whereas when you expand it, you got based on the city wise, isn't it? For this particular customer, these are the transactions that he has made. These are all the sales that he has made, isn't it? So we can even more we can make it even more granular. Let's take I want to add region in between city so that it is going to be central and then Chicago this one. So let me shrink it down so that this is the aggregated value. When you expand it, you're going to get the individual values for each city wise, right? um, Apart from it, we can even add filters. These are in fact rows, right? Let's take that. I want to add this as part of columns. Now you can see it will fall under columns. The cities are in columns. This is much better visualization compared to the previous one. Immediately this will get changed. It's a visualization part. If you can see that we can even filter it based on city and some of sales being shown up here. We can even change the, when it comes to numbers, I mean, it's a continuous data, we can even change that value field settings. It's sum by default. We can, let's take, I want to make it as average. So we can even change that to continuous columns. When it comes to dimensions, we will have only one options count when you make it fall under values. Okay. And this is how it works. This is the same thing we can achieve even in Tableau and Power BI in a much better way, I can say. Let me load the same sort of data. We will build normal visualizations and then we will move on to this one. Text file, the clean data. And one more thing before we proceed further, this is the dashboard that we get in live and extract. For extract is for batching. You're going to do it manually, whereas live is going to be, as it will be whenever there is a change, it will, it will update the visualizations. Sorry. Here we have three options. One is this visualization. Let me close this one. You can see there's something called here new worksheet, new dashboard, new story. So worksheet is where we build the visualizations, and I think this redundant one. Let me delete this. The worksheet is where we build visualizations, whereas dashboard is where we group all the visualizations, And story is a different approach compared to dashboards. We will see altogether. Let's take that you want to get the customer name. I'm going to make it as customer name and the product name as a rose. And I want to drop sales on measures. So this is where the measures comes in. You can see that we got customer name, and for this particular case, these product names, and this is the utilization, the typical tabular form, right? So when you click on show me, you will get various visualizations here. Let me choose only the, okay, in this case, there won't be any recommendations like in Excel, because only the recommended visualizations will get activated. The remaining visualizations are going to be deactivated automatically if it is not related to this one. That is one good feature in Tableau. And we'll get more attractive visualizations too. So let's go with bubble. One second. So we get bubble charts. Let me build another one, other visualization. So let's take customer city wise shop. Okay, let's take region wise shopping cost, shipping cost. So let's drop this one, and shipping cost I want to, okay. Let's go with bar chart. Maybe this is more appropriate. This comes in more like, you know, horizontal, right? But if you want to make it vertical, the only thing you have to do is you need to change these values to this one. Just alter it. That's all you need to do. So we have built two visualizations, and thereafter we can build dashboards. You need to click on new dashboard. When you got all these sheets, of course, you have to give proper name for this. Let me rename it as bubble, whereas this one is a bar. Of course, we need to give a more appropriate name. We can even give a title for it here. Let's take bar chart. So select it, make it bold, make it center, change maybe 18, apply this one. The same way we can apply for this one too. Double click. There's a power failure. One second, I'm trying to get host access. That's the reason. There's a delay. Sorry to keep you on hold for a very long time. Yeah, so we have sheets, right? Visualizations, and thereafter we have dashboard, wherein all the visualizations will reflect here. It's better to give you a proper name for this, like a bubble.
Are you recording?
I think it is recording right from the start, like right from when I joined. Okay, let me stop and re-recording.